Welcome, everyone, to the debate on the topic Are AI generated content mills ethical? We have two speakers today, Bill and Ted. Bill will argue in favor of the ethical considerations of AI generated content mills, while Ted will present the opposing viewpoint. Let's start with Bill. Please present your constructive statement.
Thank you, moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to argue that AI-generated content mills are, indeed, ethical. My argument is based on several key points that revolve around the principles of efficiency, adaptability, accessibility, and the utility of AI as a tool for human enablement. Firstly, AI-generated content mills significantly enhance efficiency. They allow for the rapid creation of content, which can be beneficial for industries that require constant and immediate updates, such as news or social media. This efficiency does not inherently diminish the quality of the content, but enables more to be done in less time, leading to greater productivity and economic growth. Secondly, AI content generation is adaptable. It can quickly respond to new information and data trends, ensuring that the content remains relevant and up to date, thereby serving the public interest for timely information. Thirdly, accessibility is a central ethical consideration. AI content mills can provide information to a wider audience by overcoming language barriers and creating content that would be otherwise economically unviable due to the costs associated with human labor. Lastly, it is essential to view AI as a tool that, when used responsibly, can empower humans rather than replace them. It can take on repetitive, labor-intensive tasks, freeing up human workers to engage in more creative, strategic, and complex jobs that AI cannot fully replicate. The ethical use of AI in content generation hinges on how society chooses to deploy and control it, ensuring it adheres to the principles of fairness, accountability, and transparency. I argue that with the right regulatory frameworks and ethical guidelines, AI-generated content mills serve the greater good, democratize information creation, and represent a natural evolution of technological progress. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, Bill, for your perspective. However, I must respectfully disagree with the notion that AI-generated content mills are ethical. The core of my argument is grounded in several concerns that highlight the potential ethical pitfalls of employing AI for mass content generation. First and foremost is the concern for authenticity and integrity of information. AI-generated content often lacks the nuanced understanding and critical thinking that human writers bring to the table. This can lead to the spread of misinformation, superficial analysis, and a lack of depth that fails to capture the complexity of certain topics, potentially misleading consumers and cheapening discourse. Secondly, the use of AI to churn out content at scale raises significant issues about the value we place on human creativity and labor. It threatens the livelihood of content creators, journalists, and writers, as machines that can work tirelessly and without compensation displace skilled professionals. The commodification of written content can devalue the craft and lead to a homogenization of voices and perspectives that are central to a vibrant and diverse cultural landscape. Thirdly, there is a profound ethical question regarding the transparency and accountability of AI-generated content. Consumers of content deserve to know if what they're reading is the product of a machine, as this knowledge informs the credibility and trust they place in the information provided. Moreover, the algorithms behind AI content generation can perpetuate biases and discrimination if not carefully designed and monitored, leading to a reinforcing of stereotypes and misinformation. Finally, the deployment of AI in content creation must consider the potential for manipulative or coercive use, as the sheer volume and targeted nature of content can sway public opinion and shift cultural narratives without the checks and balances that human editors and journalistic standards provide. The essence of ethical debate is not just about what technology can do, but what it should do. Although technological progress should be embraced, it must not come at the cost of ethical considerations that protect the quality and diversity of information, the dignity of human labor, and the integrity of our public discourse. AI-generated content mills, without strict ethical guidelines and protections, cannot be deemed unequivocally ethical. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill and Ted, for your constructive statements. We will now move into the rebuttal round. Bill, Please present your rebuttal to Ted's arguments.
I appreciate Ted's concerns, but I believe they largely stem from the potential misuses of AI rather than its ethical application within content mills. Addressing his first point on authenticity and integrity, I argue that AI does not diminish but rather augments these aspects when appropriately supervised by human oversight. The role of AI is not to replace human judgment, but to assist in managing vast amounts of data and provide baseline content, which human editors can refine, ensuring quality and depth. As for the impact on human creativity and labor, while AI does indeed shift the landscape of content generation, it also creates new opportunities for jobs that did not exist before, such as AI supervisors, ethical auditors, and more skilled, creative roles that benefit from the time AI frees up. Ethically run content mills invest in training and transitioning for displaced workers, emphasizing a symbiotic relationship between human creativity and AI efficiency. On the issue of transparency, it is vital that AI-generated content is clearly labeled, a practice that ethical content mills should and would follow to maintain trust with readers. This practice ensures informed consumption and retains credibility, aligning with ethical marketing standards. Lastly, regarding potential biases in AI algorithms, this is a concern for all technologies. However, through ethical design and continuous auditing for bias, AI systems can improve over time, reaching levels of impartiality that could be challenging for humans who inherently hold biases. The key ethical question, therefore, is the commitment of organizations to responsibility, which includes developing AI in a manner that upholds social values and norms. In conclusion, while any technology can be misused, AI-generated content mills, when governed by strong ethical standards, indeed serve an ethical purpose by enhancing the quality and accessibility of content creation.
I appreciate Bill's optimism, but the implications of AI content mills go beyond the hypothetical ethical frameworks he describes. The crux of the matter is the actionability and enforcement of such frameworks. We have yet to see comprehensive global standards and consistent application of ethical guidelines across all content mills. In reality, competitive pressures often lead to cutting corners, including lax oversight, which directly undermines the authenticity and integrity of content. Additionally, Bill's argument underestimates the impact on human labor and creativity. The so-called new jobs created by AI do not replace the volume or quality of jobs lost. They're often more technical, fewer in number, and require skill sets that the displaced workforce may not readily possess. The need for retraining and education points to a broader issue of social responsibility that simply isn't being addressed adequately by those profiting from AI content mills. Furthermore, while transparency in labeling AI-generated content seems like a viable solution, it does not address the underlying issues, the potential dilution of journalistic standards, and the deterioration of information quality. It's not enough for content to be labeled as AI-generated. Consumers need assurances that the content adheres to ethical standards of reporting and does not merely serve as clickbait or algorithmically optimized noise. Lastly, the responsibilities of checking biases within algorithms fall short in practice. Biases are not purely technical problems, but social issues. It's not just about refining algorithms, but also about whose values are reflected in those algorithms and who has the power to define those values. Ethical content creation is inherently tied to diversity, representation, and the upholding of values that cannot be distilled to mere data points and trends. All things considered, the unchecked rise of AI-generated content mills, as they stand today, poses significant ethical challenges that threaten the core values of content creation and consumption.
Thank you, Bill and Ted, for your articulate and thought-provoking arguments on the ethical considerations of AI-generated content mills. Both sides have raised valid points that warrant careful consideration. The debate has underscored the multifaceted nature of the ethical implications surrounding AI content generation. Bill presented a compelling case for the ethical application of AI in content creation, emphasizing the potential for efficiency, adaptability, accessibility, and human empowerment when employed responsibly and governed by strong ethical standards. Ted, on the other hand, expressed concerns about the authenticity, integrity, impact on human labor, transparency, and biases associated with AI content mills, highlighting the potential pitfalls when ethical guidelines are not rigorously enforced. The crux of the matter revolves around the intersection of technological advancement and ethical responsibility. While AI content mills possess the capability to revolutionize content creation, they also pose ethical challenges that demand careful consideration. As we navigate the evolving landscape of AI technology, it is crucial to develop, implement, and uphold robust ethical frameworks that mitigate potential harms and promote the ethical use of AI in content generation. It is evident that the debate on the ethical implications of AI-generated content mills is ongoing and requires collaborative efforts from stakeholders across industry, academia, and regulatory bodies to ensure a balanced approach that upholds the values of authenticity, integrity, human labor, transparency, and diversity in information creation and consumption. With this, I would like to formally conclude the debate. Thank you all for your participation.